let's try this again. I am attempting to demonstrate this project here, ED330, which is making simple C#.NET programs in Visual Studio. But my machine was freezing up and dying because of some stupid garbage called Microsoft Compatibility Telemetry. But I killed that. So maybe my machine will move now. We're going to see. So let's see if I can launch Visual Studio and have it work. Visual Studio 2022. This machine now has 3 processor cores and 8 gigs of RAM, which you might imagine might be enough for it to move along. Well, okay, create a new project is what I want to do. Okay, and I want to create a console app. Let's see if it can load this window. This was taking forever before. Well, that was not forever. So console app, and next. And next. And create. And we will see this is what it was not able to do at all before. Ooh, that's progress. I think killing the stupid Microsoft Compatibility Telemetry was enough to trick Windows into actually working. And it only takes about 5 seconds when I'm doing it without the streaming going. So it won't take you this long. Well, this is good. It should open up a new window with the project in it, hopefully. Or maybe it just died. Nope. Looks like it's indeed opening another window. There we go. All right. So down here you see the code, which, surprisingly enough, in Studio 2019, this code had some C++ lines outside it, like the main function and stuff. Somehow I guess it fills that in for you here. And by the way, I wonder if there's any way to make the font bigger. View, perhaps? Properties window. I guess. Down here is properties. Yeah, I'm not very optimistic about that changing the font. Tools options maybe. Tools options and tools customize, those look a little bit helpful. General, color theme, keyboard. Well, I may not be able to find a way to make it bigger. Test, that's not text, templating. Yeah, this is the problem. It's Visual Studio is huge and mind-bogglingly complicated, full of far too many options for everything. I'll just try general environment and see if anything there might be useful. If it'll let me do it. It's sort of lagging with my mouse. General. High contrast. And it won't scroll down. Ah, nope, okay. I guess I can't make it bigger. Anyway, I can show you. So there's a piece of code, hello world, and now I just want to run it. So up here you see a run button, console app 4 with a green run. So when you run it, it will automatically debug the code. And you'll see down here in the output window, the build started, and it shows you as it goes. It'll tell you if there is an error, but there shouldn't be any error. This is just automatically generated demo code. There it goes, skipping analyzers to speed up the build. And it should run. And once again, this runs much, much faster when I'm not trying to stream or record it. It only takes maybe 3-4 seconds to compile the code. One thing that I thought was very strange about the 2022 version is it claims it's compiling it down to a library, consoleapp.dil, but that's a lie. It's really making an exe. And here it is. You can see consoleapp4.exe up in the title bar of this window. It's running it, and it will print hello world up there. Move it over so we can see the source code. See, there's the source code over there, console.writeline hello world, and that's what will appear in that other window whenever this thing moves. There it goes, hello world. So it prints that, then it prints some garbage here, press any key to close this window. So that's all it does. This is a hello world app. And let me check my project. All right, so now we're going to make a buffer overflow here. So we're going to replace the code in that app with this code here. So I delete the existing code and I paste in this code here, and let me bring over my instructions, which are in a bigger font so you can see it. This defines a string and then reads a line from the user and then prints it out. And the string is only 5 letters long. So let's run this one, console app 4. I just run it up here, and this will do a debug compile of it, and then run it. So there it goes, build started. You see in the bottom window it shows you the progress. Okay. Okay, here comes a window, and this window is just going to sit there because it's waiting for data from us. So I'm going to put in a whole lot of A's. Looks like it's not ready for me yet. See, it's still loading up data in these windows. Okay, it took one of my A's. Now if I hold down the A, it repeats. All right, so I give it a long line of A's, a lot more than 5. And press enter. And it says, you said AAA. Doesn't crash or anything, it just does the usual thing. It says, press any key to close this window. So it's fine. I can click there and press enter a couple times and it will close that window. Okay. So there was no buffer overflow. Now we're going to make a buffer overflow. By default, it doesn't allow buffer overflows. It automatically recompiles the code to, it automatically resizes the variables to make room. But you can perform unsafe activities. And let me bring up my bigger font instructions. So here you go. Now you use static unsafe void. You deliberately use unsafe functions. Now you can allocate 10 characters on the stack. And now when you put in the data, it can overflow it. So, they try to make it safer than the kind of C we've been using in our vulnerable applications and make it more difficult to do dangerous things. And in fact, you can't even compile unsafe code without changing the settings. You have to go into Project. Yes. Okay. And you find your app, Console App 4 for me, Properties. Whenever it moves. Okay, Properties. And here we need Build General. Okay, here's Build. We need to expand Build and go to General. Okay, and down here, you need to scroll down a bit and we'll find the option to allow unsafe code. Didn't have to go that far before. I must have missed it. It's unsafe code. Well, Build General. Okay, it's in here someplace. Let me go down more slowly. Okay. Default namespace. Resources, packaging. Build, platform target. Nullable. There it is, unsafe code. Click to allow code that uses the unsafe keyword to compile. So I clicked it there. Now I got a checkbox in there. Okay. So now I can compile it here. Or so I thought. Yep, clicking that thing should recompile it. Maybe it wasn't listening to me. Click this thing. There we go. Now it's listening to me. Okay, build started. We're on the road here. Okay, and there it is. And I know from the previous experience it's not ready until it turns on a bunch of junk over here showing percentage of CPU or something. Okay, there we go. Okay, now maybe it's ready to take some data from me. And it is. Okay, so I hold down the A for a while. There I have a lot of A's. And now when I run it, it should crash. There we are. You get this box telling you it has stopped working, which, by the way, will not always pop up. I think that's a setting we changed in a previous project. And I'll just click the close button here. And then we'll get some error messages in this box here. There you go. It exited with a code. Okay, so it tells you what the error code was. Anyway, so you can have a buffer overflow with this thing. Anyway, I think I'm just going to talk about the rest of this since my Visual Studio is running so very badly. I'll just talk about how to do it in here. That's what's going on. So the first one, you just make that simple thing with a buffer overflow, and then you make a graphical one, a Windows form, which is why people would use this thing to get the GUI. So you make a Windows form app, and that gives you a little place here to drag things into. And you turn on a toolbox, and now you can just drag over things. So you drag a label, a password, and a text box, and a button. You drag things over, then you type a name, drag over a label for that, a text box for this, and an enter button for this. And now you can enter code for the button. And this is object-oriented code, so you can click on the button and then add code. Double-click the button, and then you'll see the code, and it shows you the code around it. Down here is the button 1 click. This is the code that will run if you click the button, and you can enter the code here. And so you just say if the message text is top secret, you win, otherwise you fail. And you end up with a running app that asks you for a password, and it'll tell you whether you got the password right or not. Anyway, that's all. And you can compile that thing and see the end result. So it creates a runnable executable you can run on machines that do have .NET on them. And so the next project, which I think I can demonstrate a lot better, is 331. I think I'm going to stop this video and make a separate video for it.